Good afternoon, everyone. Hope everything is well. Hope all your families are healthy. I brought you guys outside today because I'm sure not too many of you get to go outside in these difficult times, but here we are. It's a nice day outside and it's perfect for the occasion of the speech I'm about to give. And what we're going to talk about today is something that's very important to our planet and a very big issue, and that's climate change. Now, the solution that I propose to this problem is not what you might expect. It's not the typical response you get when people ask how to solve climate change. And the solution I have for this big problem is actually promoting space exploration rather than the commonly promoted solutions like cleaner energy sources, reducing greenhouse gases in our industry. So one of the big deals right now is that space exploration has a very low government budget, and that's not very good if you look at the fact about how much they help with climate change research. So one of the big barriers of promoting these big space corporations to help solve climate change is there's a lack of funding from the government as well as just regular people like ourselves. And there's also a knowledge barrier because there's a lot of research to be done, and us humans are only so capable as of now. But looking forward, there's a lot of opportunity and possibility for us to get there. So, one of the first things that we should talk about to understand the solutions, we have to understand the problem. So, it's pretty obvious what climate change is, but just to clear it up, to make it easier, let's talk about it. All right, so basically, a lot of our industries and big corporations are using a lot of greenhouse gases, or they're emitting a lot of greenhouse gases because of excessive use of fossil fuels as well as in our vehicles. And what's happening there is we have an increased amount of CO2 in our atmosphere up here. And then we also have other gases like methane and stuff like that from like cows. And basically our massive production scale is causing just huge amounts of greenhouse gases to go into the atmosphere. And why are they called greenhouse gases is because they accumulate, and once the sun brings heat into the atmosphere, it traps it in here, and it'll globally heat up the earth, and it'll also change climates around the globe, and it affects agriculture, and it's a huge issue that we're dealing with, and it's going to get worse as time goes on and on. So basically, just to give you guys some statistics, the ocean government budget per year is about $20.2 billion compared to a $19.6 billion budget for space exploration. That's how much the government gives to each organization. All right, so as I talked about before, we have some serious barriers going on, both economic and knowledge barriers. So as you can see, the gap isn't too big between ocean exploration and space exploration and the budget. But the important thing to take into account here is, for example, one person might argue, oh, we need to understand more about our ocean in order to solve climate change. Like, how are we supposed to understand what's polluting our oceans if we can't put money into exploring it? And my counter argument to that is our ocean resources are finite, right? So eventually we're going to get to the point, no matter what, we can't completely like stop or reverse climate change. What we're going to have to do is we're going to have to branch out, and we should look to finding new resources and looking outwards for a better solution rather than just observing the problem in our own ocean. We get a lot of oil from our ocean, and that's like a bigger problem than a solution it is, in my opinion. So I think we should look outwards for different solutions. For who is to blame for the lack of support, there is no single entity to blame. The only problem is it's us collectively as humans, so you can't singly blame like the government or just regular people like ourselves. We all can do our fair share of supporting for any big corporations, like for example NASA. For one, we could like spread the word or even donate a little bit of money instead of buying like, I don't know, let's say a new shower head, like, or maybe buy the shower head that's like super efficient and will help the environment, and also donate a little money to NASA to help research and overall look for a better solution in the future. So now we're going to talk about the overall solution as a whole. So one of the main things that brought this solution to my attention was that scientists discovered that there was an excessive amount of uranium dust on the moon, and this is a big thing for nuclear reactors. So if we could go and collect uranium dust on the moon, then that's huge, because uranium is obviously like scarce on Earth. So if we could use that from the moon, or even other places, if we continue exploration, then it will help us create cleaner energy sources there too. So it helps both solutions. Also, one of the biggest things is, I believe that eventually the Earth is going to get to a point where we can't live here anymore, no matter what, no matter how hard we try. Earth is eventually not going to be an option to sustain life for humans. So it might not be a bad idea to go explore space and find out a way to inhabit other planets to keep the species going. That's probably the two biggest things that I think are worth investing in for climate change and overall protecting our species and giving us a comfortable way to live. So the best way to support this idea or concept is to, obviously you can donate money, but the biggest thing is to just spread the word, make sure people understand that there's other options to solve climate change than just getting new shower heads or using electric cars. There's definitely a bigger picture at the end of the day that I think we should look at, and the biggest thing is education. If you guys have a chance to go into space exploration or contribute to just solving this problem and getting out there and like figuring out something greater than ourselves, that's the best thing you can do. All right, so overall, I believe that space exploration is a much more viable solution to climate change than we're currently looking at right now. I feel like a lot of people don't look at the bigger picture and understand that this problem's getting bigger and bigger, and we're gonna have to be taking bigger steps to solve this. So obviously, if you guys can, just make sure you're being open-minded and spread the word as much as possible, because there's definitely way better ways to solve this problem if we just look outwards. And I mean, at the end of the day, who doesn't want to live on Mars, right? So yeah, thank you guys so much. That's space exploration for you.